Hi, I'm Go Veer Go Home. I'd like to welcome you back to GVO Central. Today, we're going to be looking at some of the work that I did on my bridge. We're going to be taking a look at wiring, because, it's inevitable. I have to do it at some point, so might as well start now. We're also going to talk about a live that is going to be happening in just a couple of days, and a possible train tattoo. I know a lot of people ask me about my tattoos, but I'm still yet to get one that has to do with the railroads. So more about that at the end of the video. But first, let's hit that intro and we'll go take a look at what I've done on my layout. So I kind of made a mess here, but it's okay. I got all my cardboard down, as you can see. My fascia's up here, so I'm going to put the plaster cloth on now, and it's going to go right to there, and I'm going to go right along, and then I'm going to fill it in right along here and the back part, just to get this done and out of the way, and then that way I can just throw tracks on top afterwards, and I'll be able to paint all this and paint in here, and then I have to create find a wall, some sort of, I don't know if I'm going to do rock wall or what, but I want to do this first, get this out of the way, and then at least I'll be able to get some track down in this area. Alright, so today was kind of a success. Obviously I had done all the cardboard for here, so I went ahead and I did the plaster cloth. That is dry. It's the cardboard under that. But yeah, basically I just capped it off right there because it's going to continue on to the next module. Same thing right here. And then, just continue on to the next module. And then obviously I went along the side here. I actually, surprisingly enough, I did a pretty good job right to the edge. But obviously, as you can see, I put my filler in all the way around. There was some parts that I had to fill in along the top and down in there. And I wanted to do along this edge as well because the plaster cloth was kind of thick. So I just wanted to kind of smooth that out. What are you doing? Cut it out. It's weird. Where was I? Oh yeah. So I did the filler all the way around. I filled in all the cracks as well. Yeah, so this is ready. Well, as soon as the paint goes away and it's all white, which will tell me that it's dry. So that'll all turn white. Basically, I'm gonna go over it with the brown paint, which I've got lots of, so I should be able to get this whole thing painted tomorrow. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, have track down soon, this week, next week, in a couple of days anyways. And then once I have the track down here, I can get started on this module here, because I have to add the foam up there, and I still have to find the bridge stuff for there, which I kind of have an idea of what I want, but I haven't picked it up yet. So there you have it. That's kind of how it's gonna kind of look like that. All right, let's get this bridge section built. So the actual module itself is 5 feet long by 1 foot wide. I've got this 5.5 inch wide by 4 foot long quarter inch or half inch. I think it's half inch wood there that's laying on top. I know how I want to go into it, so I obviously have my curved pieces here that are just mocked up, and I have the piece of wood on an angle. I just gotta raise it up now. which I'll be doing with 2-inch tall pieces of lumber. And let's get those in place here, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so now that we've got the risers on there, I attached the wood plank, and now I'm just going to see if I can fit 4 of the bridge piers here in the abutment. I have to create a piece of wood in here that's about this size that will go under it, so that I can basically continue that on like that. So one of the trickiest things here for me was figuring out the height of each of these, and also figuring out how high up this goes, so that, because I have to remove the ties when going across the bridge, because as you can see there's ties on there, and there's little grooves which you can actually glue the rail to. So I wanted to make sure it was at the right height. Turns out I was off, well, a little bit, but it's only because, yeah, I have to add cork on there to raise this part up a bit, and then that cork piece there represents the cork roadbed. So I was off by a little bit, but it's cool. It'll still work out, and it'll be real flat, and it'll smoothly go, like, as far as transition right across. And as you can see, bridge is flat as something really flat. I don't know what, but it's very level, so we're good. So you definitely want to start at one end and then work your way slowly to the other end. That's where you'll find your other abutment and the length of your piers. So to raise them up, I did have the shims underneath. I cut them so that they're the exact same size as the bottom of this. I'll go back and I'll fill it in after. As you can see, I've already started putting some foam down for the lake bottom, and I cut out the backdrop there so that it seals it in nice, and then I can put that backdrop, which is going to obviously be much higher, I can slide it back in after I do my water and whatnot. So now we're kind of working forward from the back. So I had that cut out, and I move forward here, and you can see I have a small piece here that I cut out to be the front, just like I did with all my other modules. I made this one removable, just for now, because I still have to do the wiring on the inside, which we'll get to after. And also, once I do some track down that way, I'm going to have to add a switch up here. And that means that there's going to be a switch machine going under here. So I don't want to block this off. I'm going to put the fascia up against it quite yet, because I still need access. So once that's in there, I can basically seal it off like this, because I won't be able to get in from the underneath, because obviously there is that wood plank there. So at least that'll protect it. If I ever have to move it, it'll protect the tortoise machine. But other than that, I'm also working down this side here. I have a road that's going to be coming out from the back there, and I'm filling it in. For the hillish parts, or for the fact that it's going to be going downhill here, I'm just going to fill it in with cardboard and then plaster over it after. Same thing with here. I do have to add another track, so I'm going to have to drop feeders for this, and I want to have access to that so that I can still see. This is where I attach my wires to. And basically, yeah, I just want to make sure I have access to that. So then once that is dropped, I can fill this in, cover all that, add the tortoise, fill that in, and then obviously fill the backside as well. I don't know if you can see that or not, but all that has to be filled in. And obviously I have my track going across as well. So, and I already have the track for that, which is great. So, at the risk of boring you to death, I'm going to show you how I do my wiring as well. So basically, I order a bunch of my stuff from China. It's all done over eBay. I've got my terminal strips. I usually get 10 in a pack and they're plastic, and with the little metal screws and whatnot on the inside. I think they're 12 position. There should be about 12 there. And then because it's plastic, you can cut them so you can make a double or 4 or whatever, cut it in half or keep it as a whole piece and then just add your wires after. But basically, I get a bunch of these and they are where I attach all my feeders to. These here, I also get from eBay. Oh, for that there, I think it was about like, I want to say it was about $12 or $13, and I got 20, so 2 packs of 10. These here, these are my connectors. This is how I'm going to connect module to module. I've showed you these in previous videos when I was doing my module layout before. But basically you get a male and female connector. You get 10 of each. So there's technically 20 pre-wired red and black wires in here. They are pre-threaded at the end there so that you can just solder to it, but they don't give you much of a tip, so I usually like to open that up a little bit. And one female, one male to each end, and then basically when you're connecting a male to a female, and so on and so on. I also got this here. This was about $18, shipped in from China. This is all my shrink tubing. I've got so many different sizes here. Not that I'm going to need like something with that big of a gauge to it, but whatever, it's extras. And then all these extra little parts here, because eventually I will need them. And I've got, different colors and whatnot, so that's great. And then a case, it comes in a little carrying case. And this doubles, because if it, becomes low stock here, I could just, move it to my electrical bin and then use that for all my couplers and whatnot after. So it's like a little carrying case or storage case. So it works for me, and it was only $18, so that's great. Okay, so let's take a look at how I wire this. So basically, I cut it down to a set of 4, because I'm only looking at my 2 main lines. So basically, 1 green and 1 red, or 1 red and 1 black, for each rail. We want both the positives together, and that's why we're jumping here from this one to this one, and then the same thing with this one to this one. Because we're going to have, I'll turn it this way, we're going to have one set of rails going here and here, and the other going here and here. And then also from this side here, we're also going to continue on the bus line, which is going to come out one of the red and one of the green. On this side here, you can see the jumping, and also where I connect, put a longer piece, and then I used my whatever they're called again, the shrink tubing to seal them together. This is a really good connection. I know a lot of people use these when they're doing their locomotives, so I'm like, yeah, I'm going to use it on my layout as well. And you know what? I hate electrical tape, so this is actually, it was really easy to use, so I highly recommend getting some shrink tubing. Very cheap, very cheap. For all that, $18. That's great. And then obviously on this one here, we've got the, this is the male connector. So this is only one side. You actually have to do the opposite to this setup for the other side. So it's going to look like this. So it's the green or black on top, and then the red on the bottom, where this one looks like this. So I'll show you how we're going to set this up. Starting at track level, I don't know if you can see it here, but my feeders are attached to the sides, the outside, never on the inside. And I pre-drilled holes, and then I dropped them through, soldered the top to the side of the rail here. Okay, now it's been since painted over, so you can't really see it unless you're up close. But I made sure to file it down a bit. Not too much, but just enough. And they come out the bottom here. Then they go to that, the little terminal strip. Into the same strip where I have the 2 wires already, you'll see this red and white wire. This is my bus line. The bus line is the one line that goes around the whole layout, and it just continues. So we're going to imagine this bus line continues through this, and then it's going to connect to the next module right here. So there's that. Now the white wire being my negative, negative being black and white, and also green because it's pretty close to being black. It's a dark green. So I try to keep that all the same, and then red is my positive because I love the color red. It works. Or you can just say it's the opposite, but whatever. That's how I do it. And then basically this is strung right down under. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, yeah, there it goes. Goes all the way down, way down. Okay. And then we're at the other one, which is at the other end. We've got the different style of connector. I believe it was the female at this end. Nope, it was the male at this end, and then the female one is where it starts. And basically, I've got it connected in the exact same way. I've already got 2 feeders dropped at this end. And then it continues on. That's where it's connected. Goes up to the next module. And now I'm going to continue it around. And I'm going to have to connect this in, connect those 2 feeders that are right there, and then attach. I just use a little screw. It's a very small screw. Let's see, I've got it here. Here we go. They're super small. It's long, but it's very fine. It just goes through the hole. There you go. Doesn't take much effort, and I just put it in and set it up right against where I know that my next set of feeders are going to be. Now the good thing about giving yourself a bit of extra leeway here is because I know there's going to be a couple of tracks in here, like a siding, right? So at some point I can always chop this somewhere in the middle, and I can add a little board, and then this is just going to feed the board as well. And then basically I'll be able to add toggle switches and whatnot that'll get power from this as well, with LEDs to let me know if the track is powered on or not. But that comes at a later time. We're just going to do the bus line for now, and we're going to continue this all the way around the main bus line. But when we get to a difficult section where it's not so cut and dry, you know, end to end as these 2 modules have been, I might show you some more tricks, because it's when it gets a little bit heavier. So we'll be back. All right, that was great. I mean, you know, it's not that painful doing wiring, although it is my least favorite thing to do. But I still got lots more to do. A lot more track to lay and a lot of scenery to do. So stay tuned for that. Next, basically I've got a plan to do a live video on October the 30th. It's a Tuesday. I'm usually working on a Tuesday, but I have this Tuesday off, so I might as well spend it with you guys. So if you're around at 9 o'clock p.m., come on over to my channel. I'll be doing a live Q&A. If you've got questions, I've got answers. Nothing too big, nothing too small. Keep it about trains, maybe. I mean, that, you know, it is a model railroad channel I have, right? So, but I'm not shy, I'm an open book. So if you've got the question, I've got the answer. Also, I am slowly creeping up there with subscribers. I think I'm just hit 600 the other day, and I'm hoping to get to 1,000. I'd really like to have 1,000. I didn't even think I'd get 600, but here we are. So if I happen to get to 1,000, I think I'm going to commemorate it by getting a tattoo. Not just any tattoo, because I've already got a bunch anyways. I'm yet to get a train tattoo. So I need more subs in order to get that, you know, to happen. So if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you want to know when I'm going to put out a video, or if I have put out a video, you can hit the bell and you'll be notified as soon as I post. It's not every day, but I'm more of a quality over quantity kind of guy. So I try to make solid content, put it out there at least once every other week. I just want to make sure that what I'm showing you is new and, you know, fresh, I guess. I don't know. But I try. So if I can get to 1,000 subscribers, perfect.
I might even let somebody pick the tattoo. Maybe. You can also put down below here in the comment section any ideas that you might have. I have a few myself, but I'd like to hear what you think. So give us a shout, and we'll see you on Tuesday, 9 o'clock. That's Toronto time, 9 p.m. at night. And let's talk. Let's talk trains. See you then. But until then, I have a train to catch. So, do that outro.